Hey Hart fans, Butch Hartman here. How are you guys doing? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, I'm doing commissions now. If you guys want a drawing from me, just click the link down below. Okay, you know what? As you can see behind me, I'm inside television. It's interesting to be inside television because not really anybody watches television anymore. Yes, we do watch screens with programming on them. We just don't really call it television anymore. We call it streaming. But I grew up in a world where television was king. And when the king told you to turn the channel, you turned it. If you wanted to watch a show, you had to be right there in front of the TV or else you'd miss the show. I remember when I was a kid, if I missed the Charlie Brown Christmas special, I couldn't see it for the whole rest of the year. I had to be sitting in front of the TV right then when it came on, or there was sadness if I missed it. And boy was I sad if I missed it. Also, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was another one. Wizard of Oz, that was another one. If I missed those shows, couldn't see them till the next year. So anyway, TV was a big part of my life growing up. Obviously, I grew up watching a ton of television animation, a lot of amazing comedy shows on TV, great sitcoms, great dramas, just really filled my head as a kid. And I just loved television. And so when I was working at Nickelodeon doing Fairly Odd Parents, we were very successful with Fairly Odd Parents, thanks to all the Fairly Odd fans out there. We had done the series Fairly Odd Parents. We were still doing that. And they asked me to make a movie, a Fairly Odd Parents movie, and we did. We called it Abracatastrophe. And Abracatastrophe was about Timmy Turner having to get a magic muffin back from a crazy monkey named Bippy, who was changing the world into monkeys. It was really, really fun. Super kooky writing, had a great time on that. And that special did so well that the Overlords of Nickelodeon, yes, they travel in giant spaceships just like this. They were flying overhead and they said, Butch Hartman. And I said, yes, Overlords. And they said, we want you to make another Fairly Odd Parents special. And I said, okay, Overlords, we already made one about a monkey and muffins. And they're like, no, we don't want monkeys and muffins anymore. We want a brand new one. Now here's the challenge of any creative person. You're like, what's the special? The Overlords are watching, right? And they're like, yes, we are watching. And so I'm like, well, what do we do here? So I had an amazing staff of writers and we sat there and we thought of a really fun idea. All the TV channels that I mentioned to you earlier, the whole TV thing, I thought it'd be really exciting if we did a special about going into television, because Timmy Turner could really go into anything he wanted to. And at this time, I'd already done several episodes of Timmy going into a comic book where he went into his favorite comic book, The Crimson Chin. I thought it'd be really cool if he went into a television for some reason and then couldn't get out. But he hopped from channel to channel, and every channel he would hop into, his animation style would then become the style of whatever that show was. So we came up with a story where Vicky would get this remote. She'd get this magic remote and she'd go into the television, and her goal would be she's heading for the History Channel so she can change history and take over the world. And Timmy has to stop her and get the remote back. And so he's chasing her from channel to channel and having to get the remote back. And so that's where the story came from. We're like, wow, this is really cool. How do we do this? And we thought, well, like anything else we wanted to do, we just start doing it. That's what I encourage you guys to do. Anything you want to do that's creative, just start doing it and see what happens. Don't wait till everything's in place. It's nice if everything's in place, but if you can just start something, whatever it is, if it's a YouTube video, it's a song, if it's a book you're writing, if it's a comic book you're doing, just start it. You know what? Because after a while, you're going to have a lot of things built up. You'll start seeing the product come to life and it'll start getting bigger. You'll start having it a lot more developed out than you initially thought you would. So we started doing channel chasers. It's like, well, we had to write the script. So my friend Steve Marmel and I wrote the script, and it was like, where's Timmy going to go in TV? And I thought, let's just have Timmy go into all the TV shows that I loved as a kid. So we had him go into all those shows. We had him go into the Flintstones. We had him go into Charlie Brown. He became one of the Peanuts characters. We had him go into Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We ended up doing that bit of the show with CGI. I wanted to do that puppetry look, that the Rankin Bass puppetry look, but we didn't have time to do the stop motion puppets and it was going to cost a lot. Television CGI was just kind of coming into fruition at the time we started doing this special. It was around 2003, 2004. So we were able to do a small section of channel chasers using CGI. And I think we duplicated the look of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer pretty good. It was really awesome. We got to have Timmy go into Johnny Quest. We got to have him go into Speed Racer. Even have him do a Sesame Street parody. Well, we actually had felt and rubber puppets made. We had Cosmo, Wanda, Timmy, and Future Timmy in a Sesame Street section, which was really cool. We couldn't really use the names of those shows. We kind of changed the names around. I think we did one. It was Genetically Altered Adolescent Karate Cows. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We did a takeoff on that too, which was fun. We even got to take Timmy and Vicky into a show called Clint's Hints, which was basically our takeoff on Blue's Clues. We actually shot a live action actor on a green screen. It was Jason Marsden, a great voice actor, the voice of Chester on Fairly Odd Parents. He played Clint. It was so much fun to do. We even did Rugrats. That was so much fun. We even created our own anime show, like a Dragon Ball Z show called Maho Mushi, which I really loved, where Timmy and Vicky finally have an ultimate confrontation in Maho Mushi. We even made up the name Maho Mushi. It just sounded really cool, and we asked a couple of friends who were from Japan and China and Korea, does Maho Mushi mean anything? And none of them, they all said it's gibberish. It means nothing. So we're off the hook there. That was good. I even got to meet Alec Baldwin. He did the voice of future Timmy, and I had to fly out to the Hamptons, out to the East Coast to record him in this little tiny recording studio in the Hamptons. He was on vacation, so it was like a summer day in July. I flew out there. It was a 3-hour drive from the airport to this little recording studio. I got to meet his little daughter, Ireland Baldwin, who at the time was a little kid. She's like this amazing Instagram person now, and Alec Baldwin couldn't have been a nicer guy. We had such a blast. Oh, and one other thing I want to talk about too. When Timmy's flying through the channels, as we go from channel to channel, kind of the stitching together sequences, all those blocks, there's a bunch of floating blocks behind Timmy. They have little TV screens on them. This is our way of transitioning Timmy to the next channel, and we basically had animation of Timmy done on a green screen, and we put this CGI. Again, it was very early TV CGI, and they were really easy to do. They were just blocks, and we had to fill the blocks with pictures because it was like Timmy's flying through a bunch of channels. And so on those blocks, I put pictures of my family and friends and some of the staff at Nickelodeon who were working on Fairly Odd Parents at the time. So look closely. You can see me and my daughters. You can see some of my family, some of the great artists who worked on Channel Chaser. So that's kind of a little insider info there too. You know, it was such a great time working with the staff. The whole staff of Fairly Odd Parents really pulled together. We had to do the Sesame Street set and the Clint's Hints thing and do that CGI stuff and all the animation. Every time I wanted to change styles, okay, this week we're doing the Charlie Brown thing. Everybody just switched styles, all the artists, and they were able to do Charlie Brown. And then we switched again. It was the Flintstones, and one show after the other. So it was so much fun. Channel Chasers really gave me the opportunity to have a great time and just honor all the shows that made me be creative when I was a kid. I mean, all the shows that I loved. I would have done 100 more if I could have. I think we did about 15 or 20. We did as many parodies as we could in the time that we had. Just the fact that I got to have a show of my own and then honor the shows that made me the animator and creative guy that I became was just such a cool thing. What a great opportunity. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. What was your favorite sequence of Channel Chasers? And would you ever like to see me do Channel Chasers again? And did you like this story? Do you want to hear more inside stories about Nickelodeon, about some of the episodes I worked on? Is there a particular Fairly Odd Parents episode you want to hear about? Or a Danny Phantom or TUFF Puppy or anything? Let me know, and I'd love to give you some inside scoop on how those things happen. And it's been kind of fun to be in TV. This is neat. I should try this, do this for a living. What do you think? I know, it'd be kind of cool. And don't forget, art and TV gives you power. Use it wisely. Hey Heart fans, subscribe here to keep up with me, Danny, Timmy, Dudley, Bunsen.
Click here to check out my other YouTube channel, the NOOG Network.
Click over here to watch my most recent video, and here to start a playlist related to this video. Whoa, check out that awesome fan art. To be featured here, use hashtag HeartFanArt and tag me. I'm on every social media platform known to man. Cartoon Butch out. Pencil drop.